Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. Hi everyone, my name is Anita and I welcome you all on INKPOTHUB Media once again. Today I'm going to be speaking with Professor Bikramjit Ray Chaudhuri, who is the FPM program coordinator at SPJIMR in Mumbai. And I'm very excited to know about the program because it is extremely interesting and very, very insightful. Professor Bikramjit, welcome to INKPOTHUB Media.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anita, and it's our pleasure to discuss on SPJIMR FPM program with you and INKPOTHUB, and those who are watching INKPOTHUB. It's our pleasure to discuss the details and our motivation, why we are looking at the prospective scholars who wants to create a difference in the society, and all these things we would love to discuss.
Okay, so this brings my first question to you. How would you define the FPM program at SPJIMR in 3 words?
Okay, I would take 3 points rather than 3 words.
Okay.
Finding out three specific words is not easy, but
Uh-huh.
I would say that our FPM program is unique. Is unique in nature compared to in other FPM programs in India as well as outside. Uh, the- from three aspects. One that most important one is if you look at our SPJMR mission, one of our major mission is to influence practice. And therefore, when we develop our APM program, we keep in mind that institute mission and try to align the APM program to that particular direction to how to influence practice. Now, in research, how to influence practice is a controversial process or thought. Now, what the way we do consider is that our researchers will influence the academic world through their interesting and innovative research, and at the same time they will suggest or improve upon the current practices in the corporate world by suggesting the corporate leaders how where by solving the problems what the corporate world is today facing. And from that we encourage our scholars to carry out research in that meaningful direction, so that it can influence the practice world, and at the same time it can add to our existing knowledge in the academic world. Second thing, in terms of SPJMR APM program, I would like to indicate that if you see the mix of our scholars today, and we encourage that kind of mix, that we have a very industry experienced group of people available who are after going through years or decades in the industry, they wants to come back and contribute to the academic world through influencing the practice what they have seen in the industry. On the other hand, we have a very young, talented, motivated group of scholars who wants to contribute to the academic world and the practice world through hard work and carry and through innovative research. So and there is a continuum. So we try to have a mix which has got all types of scholars, and the interaction between them helps a lot in terms of in terms of sharing their knowledge, sharing their experience. These are the kind of interaction that helps the scholars to develop each other. The third point I want to indicate is our physical presence in Mumbai. And because of our long physical presence in Mumbai, SPJMR has got a very good network with the corporate world, with the non-government organizations, with the family business groups. So we have our own strengths in terms of our relationship with the with different types of industry groups and the academia. And the location of Mumbai, as you are aware, that it gives a very good connectivity with internationally and nationally, and all these things helps our scholars to collect more information from the corporate world, collecting data, going through, carrying out interviews. All these things creates a more value to the research, more rigor to the research.
That sounds extremely interesting. These three pointers actually made it clears that it is all about scholarly focus, network building, and because you are based at in the heart of the city or in the not, and the bhavans are very famous. So this is really interesting. So about the FPM program at SPJIMR, the three pointers which you have just mentioned are very exciting and interesting, and I'm sure that other FPM program participants or potential students are going to look forward to SPJN's program. Yes, definitely location is a plus point in your case. The background of scholars is extremely important because the industry background, when it comes to academia, the amalgamation brings a lot of interesting research problems to be solved, and the scholarly practices which the institute is following is really commendable. I would like to ask you, my next question to you is around your own profile and your own background. You are coming from, you have done your FPM program from IIM Calcutta and in strategic management, and you have gotten a lot of industry experience. How would you use these two aspects in your own way to for the betterment of the FPM program at SPJIMR?
Very interesting question about myself, and I spent 18 years in corporate, and when I thought of going to academic world after 18 years of working in corporate world, I started finding out what it is and how this FPM works. When I was in IIM Calcutta, I saw the interaction between the PM administration and the scholars, and all these things. There are positives, there are negatives, and and all these things added to my experience. That what is the, from a scholar's point of view, what is the best possible way to get support from the administration, from the other faculty, from those aspects. So when I took over this responsibility of looking after the APM administration in this institute, I start thinking from the scholar's point of view, that what are the pain area they are facing and what are the kind of support they are looking at, how they can interact with other faculty, how they can interact with other students, MBA students, or even in our campus, Bhavan's campus, we have engineering institutes. So interaction, formal and informal interaction between faculty, staff, students, this creates a lot of value to the knowledge and experience of the scholars. And when I look in this area, I try to build up that kind of network formally and informally with the scholars. That helps a lot. Second, I realized that although we course architecture, going through the course, different courses during a PM journey is important. But beyond that, more helpful are the kind of workshops, kind of attending international conferences. These really creates value to interact with other scholars, other faculty from outside India and inside India. All these things are really help. So therefore, when in FPM department, we try to build up that kind of infrastructure which supports carrying out this paper development workshops or a workshop for specific methods very frequently. Then regularly organize the brown bags where scholars and other faculty present their own research, work in progress research among in front of the other scholars and the faculty, interested faculty, and get feedback on where to improve, how to improve, or what is good about the research, what needs to be revised, all these things. And these are the real value adding for the scholars. And we from the FPM administration point of view, we try to make that support, that infrastructural support that helps the scholars to develop from these aspects in a better way.
Professor, very interesting way of expressing your experience, and the way you are doing things to improve and to improve the quality and of the FPM program. The overall scenario these days is extremely volatile when we talk about long-term planning and about the strategic management perspectives, because you are a scholar of strategic management, and I, being a scholar of strategic management myself, I've seen a lot of dynamism in these last 4 or 5 years. From you, from your experience, I also want to know what are those potential future frontiers which are going to be open for specifically for strategic management aspects. If you can talk about maybe 2 3 areas wherein you see that there are potential research areas or domains which are going to be evolving in the coming times in another 4 or 5 years, because when people prepare their synopsis and when they think about research topics, in your opinion, what are 2 3 points which they can consider while writing their synopsis or while thinking about a research topic in strategic management?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Dr. Anita. And since you are also from strategic management, you will realize that strategic management is a vast subject, and it's an evergreen subject. The beauty of strategic management comes from its interdisciplinary nature. That when you are a strategy scholar, you cannot say I am a strategy scholar per se, but a typical good strategy scholar has to interact with all other functions in the business, and then only it will create a value to the research. So whether it is marketing, whether it is finance, whether it is the supply chain, all these all the business functions are important in the strategic management area to understand and carry out research. There are evergreen research, interesting research domains in strategic management, whether it is resource related research, whether it is positioning related research, whether it is corporate strategy related research. There are very internationalization. These are very interesting domain which is ever flourishing, and lot of new things are coming. And there are new areas in strategy management research that is come in the picture over the years, in specifically in recent time. For example, when we talk about hyper competition, when in the classical strategic management research, we talk about competitive advantage which is sustainable. When we talk about hyper competition, this temporary nature of this competitive advantage. So you have to jump from one level of competitive advantage to another level, and you have to change your processes, internal business processes, whether your marketing processes, finance processes, supply chain processes, your communication processes. Everything has to be revised and aligned to the new competitive advantage you are looking at. So this is then you now this very new interesting business structures has come into the picture, like platform business and many other similar businesses from the boundary of the firm's perspective, that whether those standard ideas about the boundary of the firms or the competition, are they still relevant, or the Porter's five forces, are they still relevant for this kind of business structures? That is becoming an interesting research domain in this area. And then comes the dynamic nature of the capability. That is last 20 years it becomes a heart of strategic management area. That dynamic capability, how it can be aligned to different other theoretical domains in the strategic management, whether it is a kind of, for example, I talk about platform business, whether that platform business, the dynamic capability requirement is different or similar. Or you may think of a real option, that when an industry leader is thinking that they will invest a little bit in some direction and see that what happened. And it maybe the multiple real option is practiced by the leader. So these are very new areas in strategic management, and there are a lot of scopes to carry out research and to, keeping in mind that interdisciplinary nature of this domain.
Mhm. So I was reading a very interesting book around passion economy. So this is also an evolving field, which I thought that nowadays, which I'm expecting that another 4 or 5 years, people will talk about passion and passion economy, how we are building, current businesses in relation with our own passion, and how other these functional areas are going to be evolving around following that passion and building your own life. So I'm just hopeful that we are going to have a lot of interesting research domain and frontiers in strategic management. And the best part of strategic management is that it is revolving around, or other functional areas revolve around strategic management. Moving to the next part of our conversation, Professor, I would like to know from you something related to the potential scholars which you are looking for and what you are offering to them as as an institute. So my first question to you in this context is that what is that thing which a candidate would receive beyond stipend if he or she joins the program at SPJN?
First and foremost, I would say that our faculty, the nature of our faculty group who are giving support to this FPM department in terms of teaching, in terms of guiding. So we, as an institute, we have a very unique mix of experienced as well as fresh research-oriented faculty. So experienced research-oriented and fresh research-oriented. The difference is one of them are matured. They know how to research, what to research, and another group is coming from directly from IIMs or good in institutes internationally or in India. They know the current research areas, that what are the very new things coming up, what are the new methods coming up, and how to do those new methods, use those new methods. So this unique mix of faculty will help the scholars to develop themselves, and that is one important benefit that scholars will get when they join this institute and go through the curriculum of FPM. The
Mm-hmm.
second benefit the scholars will get, I think I have already mentioned about the international conferences. So we support the scholars will attend national as well as international conferences, and it is not attending the conferences. They have to have a accepted paper, and they have to present that accepted paper to that conferences, and that creates a lot of value to the scholars. So we give financial supports to the scholars for presenting their papers, and at the same time attending paper development workshops or the doctoral consortium and other areas.
Mm-hmm.
uh, the third thing, we give just to take up the financial part of it, apart from the stipend, we give a regular means annual kind of support, financial support that covers the research expenses part of it. And research expenses maybe in terms of increasing the productivity. We give financial support to purchase a laptop or desktop at the beginning of the FPM journey, and then every year we give a standard support for covering those expenses related to increasing the productivity, or for example, purchasing some books, purchasing some journals, magazines, kind of some softwares which will help them, small softwares that will help them to carry out research, or some tools, instruments that will help them for research, like recorder and all other things. So all these things are covered through this part of this annual reimbursement part. Uh, I think beyond that, the mix of co-scholars, what I have mentioned, that benefits a lot the scholar, other scholars. What we have seen over the years, the scholars are really enjoying the company of others, and getting information sharing and knowledge creation through sharing different experiences. That helps a lot. And apart from that, we have center of excellences, specific centers which support a type of motivation in a specific, focusing on specific domain. For example, we have a center of innovation in sustainable development. This center supports all that kind of research and related aspects related to sustainable development. So if a scholar is doing some research in this area, definitely the center, if the scholar is interested, center will give some support in terms of in different ways. We have also center of family business and entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
We have center of financial studies, and we have center of for wisdom in leadership. So these are the four centers we have, and all these centers are equipped to provide support to researchers in terms of in this specific domain, in terms of whether infrastructure, whether networking, and in different way.
Mm-hmm. So I love the part of the centers because it gives the direction to the scholars, as well as it also reflects that what is the thought process of the institute, which is aligned with the mission of the institute, which talks about that we want to work in these four domains to create knowledge which can be disseminated, and uh, then the institute will become pioneer in the coming times, that okay, four domains, if you want to work, go to SPJN, you will get the best support from the faculty, from the in terms of infrastructure and every other aspect. So I love that part because you are having a focused research approach in that way, in that sense. So moving to the next part, which I would like to know from the perspective of the industry, because a lot of students sometimes coming from um, no experience, also they do not have any corporate experience, they do not have any teaching experience. So if you have that kind of scholar in the batch, is there any possibility wherein the student gets an opportunity to go to the corporate, do some internship, come back, understand the industry related problems, and decide for the research topic in a better way for better understanding of the topic? Is there any possibility?
A very important question, actually, Dr. Anita. And one disclaimer before for the last one. Although we have that these centers which are focusing on specific aspects, but our scholars are if they want to do research in any area beyond this center, we have the full liberty to provide the scholars all support to if in whichever way possible, in any area of interest of the scholars. So
Absolutely.
this we our research is not specifically focused on this. Definitely, these are the focus area of the institute. But the scholars has the full liberty to go for any type of research they
Great,
are looking
great.
interested. Yeah, coming to the questions, a very interesting question and an important question for the scholars. And we have, as I told you earlier, that we have a mix of all the types of scholars, and we have scholars who are not coming from the academics, not coming from the industry, but and we have a very structured process to provide the teaching support to these scholars. So this we the scholars when they are in their curriculum journey, they have to spend with a specific faculty, which is with mutual acceptance, that they have to go through one or multiple courses where it is not only attending the classes, but they are supporting the faculty or interacting with the faculty from the very beginning of development of the course, from the design course, what would be the evaluation, what would be the class coverage. All these things are how the assurance of learning is covered. Everything the scholar will learn with the faculty in a guided process. Then the scholars may have to attend, may have to give some lecture also, or depending upon the faculty's preference, or definitely she or he has to attend the classes and contribute, interact with the other students, and maybe going through the how to do carry out the evaluation process and other things. So the entire the life cycle of the course the scholars get that opportunity to go through this thing. See, this is from the teaching perspective. From the academic, from the practice point of view, we definitely support the scholars to go to international or national yeah, uh, experience gathering requirement if there is a specific case come out. So if it is a convincing case that this scholar would be benefited through this knowledge sharing or experience gathering from the industry, definitely we are open to that, and we will give all kind of supports, whether financial or non-financial support, to give that kind of support to the scholar.
Great. So who should apply? Who should apply to the SPJ IMR's FPM program?
Uh, my first and foremost requirement is the fire in the belly. So
Mm-hmm.
this APM program globally, as you are also gone through this journey, that it is very demanding, and until and unless the motivation comes from inside, you the very few people can survive this journey, and it is not easy. And there would be questions in your mind that how to solve the my. I want to do research in a particular area, but I have an interesting research question, but I don't know how to solve that research question. And so these are the kind of doubts, these are the kind of questions will continuously will go through this scholar's mind for 3 or 4, 5 years, 6 years, whatever, depending upon the scope of the research. And that is that important part of this thing. So survival depends upon the internal motivation in FPM area. So until and unless the scholars do not have the internal motivation coming from uh, herself or himself, I would suggest better not to venture in this area for the thing. And once you have that kind of interest, that fire in the belly to solve the practice world problems, or to contribute to the academic literature or contribute to the academic knowledge, definitely SPJIMR FPM is one is an important uh, destination for you, and I would suggest that come and join. Definitely, there are certain requirements and the process of the selection. Assuming that you can clear all these hurdles, SPJMR FPM is that place for you, so that you can create value to the society and you can create value for yourself as a scholar of eminent ability. So we would encourage that kind of scholars to join SPJIMR APM.
Mhm. Okay, so from you, what kind of advice you would like to give to the prospective research students?
Um, I would definitely I would suggest that come and explore SPJIMR APM, join us and go through this interesting journey. And second, once you will join this journey, I would suggest that enjoy the journey. There are people, there are your co-scholars in this institute, and there are students, MBA students, other engineering students in the campus, so there are so many people moving around, having their interest in different areas of life. Interact with them, enjoy the life, and spend very fruitful years in this institute to create value for and that is for the institute, for the society, and yourself.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So I'm really happy to see that SPGen is offering a very interesting and exciting research program. And whenever I speak with the potential students, I always say that research journey is enlightening, is it's enriching. One must enjoy this journey because it is going to change you as a person completely. So I'm hopeful that SPGen is offering that space wherein a person can transform and completely changed. The person will be completely changed once the person will graduate from the SPJ's FPM program. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and insights around the program and about your own journey. FPM journey is. We all know that how much transformed we are after the FPM program, which we have pursued from our respective institutes. So I am hopeful that this is going to happen with the other students at SPJIMRs as well. So thank you so much, Professor. It was really interesting to interact with you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anita. And just I want to finish with one quote, what relevant to what you just said. I attended one AOM conference, and one very senior strategist called Professor. Recently, he expired, and but he's the senior editor of SMJ for many years. He told in that conference, I think in doctoral consortium, a very interesting line that the day you are joining the FPM program and the day you are completing your FPM journey, if you are the same person, then you have wasted your time. So
Absolutely.
it's a very valuable word, and from that day onwards, I follow that for that motivation in my mind as a scholar, as a researcher, as a faculty, that we need to change ourselves, and that's the aspects that is the support that FPM journey is giving to
Mhm,
us.
mhm. Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much. And I'm hopeful that you will create knowledge and disseminate. We will all be here to read your work. The students are going to join very soon, and I'm hopeful that the transformational journey is going to be tremendously good.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anita and INKPOTHUB, for this wonderful support you are giving to the academic world to improve upon all these aspects. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
It's great to see you all here. Thank you for watching our work. If you have not subscribed to INKPOTHUB Media, then please hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel and support research celebrations in India.